Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. After my indulgent deck yesterday where I was trying to make storm cards work in Commander, back to OTJ today. Magda, the Hoardmaster is the card we're looking at. 1 and a red for a 2/2 Dwarf Berserker. Whenever you commit a crime, you get a tapped treasure token, and then you can sack 3 treasures to get a 4/4 Scorpion Dragon token creature with flying and haste. Activate only as a sorcery, so you're going to have to do it in your turn. But yeah, it's a red deck. Who doesn't like playing with dwarfs? It's all good fun. Before I go any further, just so I hopefully get a little bit of help from whoever's watching this for the first time, please hit the subscribe button if you can. I'm sitting at 408 subscribers here on YouTube, getting a lot closer to my 500 target by the end of the year. So if you can help out and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, that's enough of the sales pitch. Let's talk about today's deck because that's probably more interesting. Here's the deck, but before we go any further, there's a few cards. It's 80 tickets basically on MTGO at the moment. It's $651 in real life. There is some ways of making it cheaper. I'll try and point them out as I go along, but you can probably work out what they are by the images here and here. Drop them out, makes it cheaper in real life and online a little bit. But anyway, here we go. 29 creatures, most of which do things we need them to do. So Impulsive Pilferer gives us a treasure, and then encore it back, you get 3 treasures. So yeah, that's cool. Charming Scoundrel is also here. Early game, do the treasure token. Late game, maybe the Wicked Roll token on a creature. Not sure the discard a card and draw a card is going to be much help unless you have a whole load of lands you're trying to get through them. So third choice, but it's going to be one of the first two. Early game, the treasure token. Late game, the Wicked Roll token. If you're stuck, then do the discard. Dockside Extortionist, you can drop out. Obviously, I've mentioned it already, but it does do the job in this deck by giving us all the treasures we need to sacrifice to Magda. Generous Plunderer also gives us a treasure at each upkeep if we can keep him alive, and commits a crime. So with, Magda, who's now above me because I forgot I didn't have it on display, gives you a couple of treasures. So yeah, it's all good. Humble Defector commits a crime when he goes to an opponent, but you get a couple of cards out of it to start with. The original Magda's here, so when our dwarves become tapped, we get treasures. Fine. Wily Goblin gives us a treasure. Obviously, we're playing a treasure deck, so Academy Manufacturer is a no-brainer in this deck, even for the bit of card draw with the clues and the food once we get it into play. It all helps out. Breachers, Eager Pillager is also here. Pirates attacking will give us a treasure token, and something can't block, and push comes to shove, we get to exile the top card of our library if we need to. Captain Lannery Storm attacks, gives us a treasure. Thank you. Chandra commits crimes for us, and we're going to make sure we can have this with haste at some stage so we can keep pinging people and commit those crimes. Notice it does only give you 1 crime a turn if Magda's in play to get the treasure in play, but the damage could be useful, especially if we can get Chandra to flip, and then we can commit a crime with it every turn. Frilled Death Speaker, when it's dealt damage, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. Don't forget, even if you deal damage in your opponent's turn, there's still a crime. It triggers Magda when Magda's in play. Mine Raider, and it's a battlefield. If we control another outlaw, we get a treasure token. Magda's an outlaw, so yay. No, she's not. Sorry. Everything else is an outlaw. I'm not sure why Magda isn't. I've just realised she isn't. But hey, there's going to be some outlaws in play. Somewhere, he says, hopefully. Yeah, we'll find something. There's bound to be one somewhere. There you go, pirate. Rogue, yeah, we've got enough, we can do it. Patron of the Arts, and it's the battlefield, gives us a treasure. Dies, gives us a treasure. So and it is a dragon, so hey hum. Plundering Barbarian blows up the annoying artifact that someone's cast on turn 1. Soul Ring springs to mind, or gives us a treasure. Red Cap Thief gives us a treasure when it comes into play. Zorn is here because when we create treasure tokens we get an additional one as well. Tuzu, the Blazing Sky, when it dies, gives us 3. Young Dragon goes on the bathe, goes for a nice bath to start with, gives us a treasure before it comes into play. And Bone Horde Dracosaur, yeah, I know, it keeps turning up in all my red decks. I know people are getting fed up with it, but in this deck it does produce treasure tokens, which does help, as well as giving us an extra blocker if we need it. Gynax, Astral Hunter. Notice the wording on this. When Gynax or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token. It does not say non-token, it just gives you a treasure. So you're sacking off equivalent of 2 treasures to get a 4/4 with Gynax in play. Bear it in mind. Goldspan gives us treasures when it attacks, we know this. Rapturous Dragon comes into battlefield with 2 treasure tokens, and Terror of the Peaks is one of the dragons we will go and find with the other version of Magda, so we can start doing damage that way. Don't forget, you can target your opponent and commit a crime and get another treasure off Magda the Hoardmaster if needed. Ancient Copper Dragon, if it hits once, will probably give us more than enough treasures to get a whole load of flying dragons into play the next turn, assuming Magda survives. Burning Sun's Inferno deals 3 damage to target opponent, so commits a crime for us. Inferno Titan does exactly the same thing. Bogdan Hellkite, yep, flashes in, deals some damage, get another treasure, cool. And Cave Hoard Dragon, I like this card, it's good fun. When it enters, deals combat damage to a player, you create a treasure token for each artifact that a player controls. Gives you lots of treasures, which is nice. And it has haste, so you know, that's fine. Could come down for 2 red mana and just hit them and get a whole load of treasures for us, which is cool. Couple of Planeswalkers. Chandra Firebrand doesn't see much playing Commander at all. It's probably one of the weakest Planeswalkers in my opinion that's ever been printed. But in this deck, it commits crimes for us quite happily by pinging someone each turn for +1. So yeah, we'll go with that. And Chandra the Awakened Inferno is also here just to get the emblems on the go. I don't think the emblems count, but hey hum, gives enough way to get some damage through. We have a few spells that deal damage directly, so Burst Lightning's here, Strike It Rich gives us a treasure token. The first Day class is here. Now obviously we can't learn because we don't have a sideboard or anything outside of the game in Commander, but giving all our creatures a +1/+1 counter and haste until the end turn really does have its benefits for this deck in some cases. Yes, I know the Scorpion Dragons have haste, but if we can just sack them off and make them bigger so they come in as 5/5s, it makes them a lot harder to deal with. Flicker Coin, so we can deal some damage, well, commit a crime and get a treasure. Jessica's Will lets us commit a crime and hopefully get some mana and cards because we'll have Magda in play. Riftbolt just gets suspended to commit a crime on the next turn. Caesar Spoils gives us treasure and card draw. Skewer the Critics gives us the spectacle ability to deal 3 damage to something once we've dealt some damage ourselves. Valakut Awakening counts as a land some of the times, and sometimes it's a filter through your deck. Big Score for treasures and cards. Chain Reaction to control the board. Pirates Pillage for treasure and cards. Unexpected Windfall for treasure and cards. Rousing Refrain goes into Suspend Land. Gives you a crime committed every 3rd turn when the counters come off. Insurrection is just in here because I think it's one way we might win the game a bit quicker. Just nick everyone's creatures. They all gain control of until the end of the turn. They gain haste. Yeah, okay then. Blasphemous Act, also here to control the board. Ramp is quite wholly centered in artifacts, really. Mana Crypt is one of the cards you can take out because I know how expensive it is in real life. Mox Tantalite is a bit cheaper, along with Soul Talisman to give us some suspending ramp. Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond, Mind Stone, Ruby Medallion class as a ramp, Thought Vessel counts as a ramp, and the Reaver Cleaver, because if we can get this equipped onto a creature, we get some damage and get some treasure tokens, which to me is a good plan. Few enchantments, not too many. Sticky Fingers, just so we can give a creature menace and get it through to get more treasure tokens in combat. Fever to give everything haste that doesn't have haste automatically. Same with Hammer of Perforos. Rising of the Day, also there, but also pumps up some of the legendary creatures we have in the deck a little bit. And then the 2 courts. The Court of Embereth gives us a knight, and if we're the monarch, we get to deal X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of creatures we control. And the Court of Ear, beginning of your upkeep, it just shocks someone, so you commit your crime there and then for when Magda's in play. 35 lands. Obviously, I've covered the multi-double faced card at the moment, but Arid Mesa, Bloodstained Mire, Cabaret Courtyard, Castle Embereth's here just to pump up our creatures. Fable Passage, Maestro's Sphere to go fetches all the lands out. Mines of Moria. No, don't know where that came from. Moria. We can exile some of the cards out of our graveyard we don't need. I'm thinking of, some of the search lands when they finish doing their thing and get a couple of treasure tokens, so that could be useful. 22 basics. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, because we are playing a mono deck, so it makes sense to have that here. Path of Ancestry, Reliquary Tower, another sacked land, Temple of the False God, and Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, to give us another way to win our game. And that is it for today's deck. I think Magda's fun. again, probably the lower end of the power level scale for me and my commander decks I build, which is always good fun. But it gives you some ideas on how to build it, and I think the treasure idea works really well. So that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please, as I said at the start, hit the subscribe button if you can. Help me out, get me a little closer to 500. And I'll be back tomorrow with another OTJ commander if I can think of one I haven't covered yet. So take care. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.